Hey guys, Christopher Bob Roberts here from ChristopherBobRoberts.com and the ExtremeMeasuresInstitute.com. I'm going to invite you to my first ever self-defense street fighting video blog post. Now the topic for today is going to be one of the most common questions that I get from my newsletter readers, and that's what are my thoughts on women's self-defense? What do I recommend to women that want to learn to defend themselves? Well, answer is two-part. First of all, women's self-defense does not exist. Part two, that does not mean that women cannot learn to defend themselves. Now, what do I mean with that? Well, first of all, like I said, women's self-defense does not exist. There are a lot of people teaching things that are specifically for women. You walk into some martial arts studios or you work into some self-defense training centers and they're like, oh wow, a woman. Well, we also teach women. And they bring you into a completely different area than the men. And they teach you something that, in its worst case, looks like this. Okay, now that was my training partner and me demonstrating a technique that is commonly known to self-defense experts and combat instructors all over the world as absolute bullshit and a bad technique. I don't know why it is, but for some reason you always see women being treated differently than men when it comes to self-defense. But the bottom line is we walk down the same streets as women do. And women, if they want to defend themselves on those streets, have to be able to defend themselves using techniques that are as effective as ours are. Now, when I see women rolling up newspapers and videos and smacking guys around as though that's going to help them in a street fight, when I see women going ahead and, well, this guy's huge and I'm a woman, so I'm going to go ahead and do an arm bar, which I wouldn't do as a man unless I had a serious tactical advantage or a couple of friends helping me, or if I was much stronger than the person, I would never use an arm bar or a technique like that in a street fight. But you have this 90-pound woman being taught how to choke out a 350-pound muscle-bound bodybuilding man or tap him out with an arm bar. It's not going to work. However, like I said, it is possible for women to learn to defend themselves. Now, I'm going to show you an example of two women that defended themselves on the street. Now, as opposed to that, what I just showed you with my partner, first of all, this is real life. Real life film of real life women defending themselves on the streets. And second, it will also show you effective techniques as opposed to that bullshit that I showed you with my training partner. Now watch this. Not bad. Now watch video number 2.
Come on! Drunkcast.com. You better. Oh! Oh! .com. You better. Oh!
Now the big point that I was trying to make today is the difference between what those two women did and what I demonstrated as traditional women's self-defense is they fought like men. One threw a headbutt, the other threw some kind of a hooking strike to the tip of the jaw. The bottom line is this, they fought like men. They didn't say, I'm a 90-pound woman, so I'm going to have to go ahead and just whip you up and throw you around like Kung Fu Panda or do some crap like this. They're like, a man sitting in front of me, I'm defending myself, I have to fight like a man would fight in this situation. If anything, women need to be more direct and more brutal. than men do when they defend themselves, because they do tend to be smaller and weaker physically. So the bottom line is, when you walk into a martial arts school as a woman, or you open up a self-defense book or a website or a video as a woman, and they say, oh wow, since you're a woman, you need to do something completely different than the man does, that is not true, okay? Turn off the video, close down the website, leave the school, go find somebody who's going to teach you how to fight like a street fighter. That's the reason why I come up with this whole concept of street fighting based self-defense. Women can roll up newspapers all day, but the only thing that's going to save their asses on the street is to learn how to fight like a street fighter, to learn how to fight like a male street fighter. There is no such thing as women's self-defense. Women can learn to defend themselves using the same techniques, the same strategies as men do. But in terms of women's self-defense and learning something completely different that's gentle and made for women, there's no way in hell that ever did or ever will help anybody. So, until next time, train smart, watch your back, and if you're a woman, learn to defend yourself like a male street fighter. And that's the only thing that will save your ass.